Hello everybody and welcome to the MoneyShift Channel. I am Thanasi and today we are in something really special. We are in a 21 Ford Bronco with the Sasquatch package and the 2.7 liter twin turbo 6-cylinder engine. And today we're going to be giving you guys a walk around inside and out, and we're going to go for a spin both on some highway type roads and town roads, and then we're going to give our final thoughts as to what we think about the Ford Bronco. And if you guys are interested, maybe we can even do a comparison video size wise between the Bronco and the Ford Maverick. So as always, I'm gonna give you guys the keys. Let me just reach into my pocket here. Let's take a walk around. Wow, here she is. This is the Ford Bronco, but this just isn't any Ford Bronco. This is a black diamond equipped with the Sasquatch package and the 2.7 liter V6 in Velocity Blue. Sasquatch gives you the big wheels, 315s, race suspension, and the flares, among other things. Nice touch from Ford is that the fifth wheel on the back also gives you a Sasquatch package wheel and tire, which is great. Overall makes this thing look incredibly mean and gives it such a good stance. These 315s with the race suspension and the big flares truly look incredible, especially in this Velocity Blue. I might be in the minority here, but I think the two-door Bronco is the better looking one by far. And I love how you get the Sasquatch right there underneath the black diamond, integrated overall into the sticker that designates what package this vehicle is. Talking about some things that are specific to the black diamond, you get this steel modular bumper here in the front. You do not get the signature LEDs, but you still do get LED units. Shout out to Coderman for providing us with this Bronco here. If you guys want more Bronco content, check out his channel. But let's head to the inside where we can talk about what makes the black diamond a black diamond outside of the bitchin' looks. So coming in, you notice keyless entry right off the jump, and Ford brings in some body color into the cabin, which is really nice. Now we're going to leverage this grab handle to get in because, again, raised suspension. But before we do, ooh, this marine grade vinyl is actually very nice. I had my suspicions about it at first, but Ford did an awesome job. These seats are really comfortable. But before we get in, let's take a quick look at the back seats. Now, the owner of this vehicle was able to put 2 car seats here and 2 kid seats, no problem. I sat back here, and I will say it's relatively comfortable for short trips. Thanks to that cup holder there, you sort of have like a quasi armrest. But for longer journeys, I'll stay in the front. Now let's use this grab handle and get inside and close that door. And the first thing we're going to notice is this digital instrument cluster. Lots of colors, very vibrant. And you'll see as we switch between the modes here, it responds very quickly. And again, just looks really nice. And because this is the Sasquatch package, we have things like mud rut, sand, and rock crawl, which does change a variety of settings proactively on your behalf in the car, which is nice. But notice how quickly this is responding. Super quick, super vibrant. We make our way to this center screen right here. This is the base screen, but it does have Sync 4, and you'll notice it responds very quickly to inputs, to swipes, whatever it is. And again, you can opt for a larger screen, similar screen that you'll get on a Lightning F-150 or an upgraded F-150 screen, but this is the base one, and it's more than enough. Now, if we go down here, we get to my favorite thing that Ford is doing, which is keeping buttons. We have a button for the stop-start, button for the heated wheels, dual zone climate, all buttons and knobs, not haptic. Love that. In addition to that, on this meaty gear lever, you have the ability to alter the gears, which is nice. Here's the go mode selector, nice, big, robust, looks great. Window selectors here in the center because you can take the doors off, and the mirrors are there as well. Switches on the top, and auxiliary switches on the top of this car that are pre-wired to certain points. But none of that's as important as our driving impressions, so let's get behind the wheel. All right, we are on a quasi-highway driving the new Ford Bronco. Guys, I gotta tell you, we've talked about this in the past with the Phaeton and some other cars that we've had the chance to drive. But there's something to be said about the way a car makes you feel when you're behind the wheel. The Bronco makes you feel good. I'm driving this thing and I don't know if it's like the confidence, what's going on? Like Coderman's Bronco is making me a whole new human being. I'm driving this thing and feel like I should, you know, take mortgages out on my house to invest. I just feel good. I feel really good. But all right, confidence aside, how is the Bronco on a highway situation, especially with this package, the Sasquatch package? I got to tell you guys, it is remarkably cushy, but there's really two big things that I notice with the Bronco out here on the highway, especially in comparison to something like a Wrangler. Number one, this thing tracks straight. If I take my hands off the wheel here, and you'll see it as you get behind the wheel. I'm not gonna keep my hands off this for too long. Listen, it's not my car, right? But we're on the highway here. If I take my hands off the wheel, this thing tracks remarkably straight for a good period of time. I don't need to constantly correct, even with the Sasquatch package, which is pretty crazy. Number two, the 2.7 liter twin turbo engine under the hood has gobs of torque, and this 10-speed does a remarkable job at shifting down quickly for good passing power. Number three, and one of the biggest cons about the Bronco, and to be honest, most of the vehicles in this space, is the wind noise. You just get a lot of it at high speeds. There is a ton of wind noise in the Bronco. But I'm gonna toss you guys the keys and we're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna provide some more commentary about the things that I like about the 2022 Bronco on the highway. All right, as we get onto this little on-ramp here, we're gonna hit about 40-45% throttle, and let's take a listen to this Bronco. Snappy upshifts. This 2.7 liter twin turbo 6 has mounds of torque, 415 to be exact, and it does more than enough to get this big beast of a machine up to speed without any problems. I never found myself wanting more power, and thanks to that large torque number, this thing also has a lot of passing power. Now, what are the biggest things that we focus on the highway portion? One, sound and composure at speed. Number two, how easy is the audio system to use and how does it sound? And number three, how is the road noise? So we're going to get into that right now. So how is the composure of the Bronco at highway speeds? You'll see as we accelerate up to 50 here, this thing remains remarkably planted. I don't have to move this steering wheel a lot, which is not something that can be said for a Wrangler. The Wrangler, you're constantly tracking the steering wheel around just to maintain straight in the lane. In fact, I can take my hands off the steering wheel and this thing still tracks straight. That's pretty impressive, especially for a vehicle with tires as large as these. Number two, this sync system is very easy to use. The Sync 4 that Ford put into the Bronco is effortless. It looks great, has all the information you want, and it's super snappy. And because there's still a lot of buttons, it's a very easy thing to use at speed. Now, number three is the wind noise. This car does have a lot of it, like I touched on when I was behind the wheel, so I'm not going to belabor on that too much because it definitely goes away the moment you turn up the volume a little bit. You don't even notice that it's there, and let's be honest, when you have a vehicle with tires this big, there had to be some give, so it's funny that the wind noise is as low as it is, and it's something that's easily to be defeatable. Something that I'm going to touch on, though, is these little vents right here. You can point them directly at your hands, and in colder climate, it acts as something that's better than a heated steering wheel because it pumps the heat directly onto your hands. But let's get into the around town portion where I'm going to give you guys some more thoughts. All right, as we are stopped at an intersection, let's talk about how the Bronco is around town. What are the things that we like to harp on when we talk about a vehicle's around town capability? Number one, we like to talk about how nimble it is, how easy it is to finagle it into certain scenarios and really just make your way through cities and towns. So how does the Bronco do in that sense? Well, it does a pretty good job considering the vehicle that we're working with. It has a pretty great turning radius. It's actually a lot better than the Ford Maverick that I currently have, which if you guys want to see a review on that vehicle, look at the top right and a link in the description for that. It actually has a better turning radius than that vehicle by a lot, which makes sense. This thing has off-road chops, so it needs to navigate in some tight scenarios. What are the other things we talk about? How is the transmission responsiveness and the auto stop start system? So let's see, as I pull up to this red light right here, we'll see how quickly the Bronco turns off. Okay, full stop now, and it turned off. Now let's see it start. Boom, we're off. Very, very easy system to use. Ford does a good job with their auto stop starts. Really, really love their product. What else are we going to talk about in this interior? Well, it's none other than the audio system. And I got to be honest with you guys, maybe this is just me coming from the Maverick, which doesn't have the best audio system. The sound system in this Bronco definitely is a little bit better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a high fidelity audio system or anything like that, but the fact of the matter is that for the money, what you're getting is a really, really good system. So without further ado, we're going to toss you guys the keys and we're going to keep going with some high level thoughts about how the 2021 Ford Bronco does in just around town driving. All right, we're at a red light. We're going to play a fire drill. I'm going to run outside and go to the other side and you're going to get in, okay? Ready, set, go. All right, as you hop in here, yes, you made it. Heck yeah, that is awesome. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is the auto start here. The car fires up very, very quickly the moment you take your foot off the brake. But wait, never mind. This light is just incredibly long. This Sync 4, again, is the base screen, and it is very, very nice. Like I mentioned in the highway portion, it reacts very, very quickly. If you have a swipe, it swipes. If you have any features, you can click into them very quickly. The color screen looks nice. And again, still a red light here. So let's continue to focus on this interior. Like I mentioned in the highway portion, the knobs, the knobs, the knobs. Love the big shifter. Love the ability to manually change gears, which is nice. Heated seats are solid. These marine grade vinyl seats are really, really good. Oh, there we go. Bang, kicks right on, no problem, and we are off. The transmission shifts are very snappy and smooth and precise, which around town is very great because you're constantly going to be coming to a stop and going. So I love that and cannot say enough about these heaters here. These vents right next to your hands are key, especially on a day like today when it is 40 degrees. Lot of windows, so it's very easy to see when you make changes. And let's be honest, guys, this thing is just flat out cool. Flat out cool. I felt like a freaking boss driving this car, which is awesome. Let's give it a little gas. Love it. Picks up very quickly. Sounds awesome. Again, guys, this has 415 pound-feet of torque, which is so much torque. We love that. But as we get to this next light, we're going to wind down and talk about our overall thoughts of the new Ford Bronco. As a reminder, this is a black diamond Sasquatch with the 2.7 liter twin turbo engine. This thing stickers for around $48K with all the options on it, if you can get it for that price. But let's get to our final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts about the new Ford Bronco, and I gotta mention a couple things. Number one, cars are more than just vehicles. They make you feel a certain way regardless about how they drive. And one of the things I love about the Ford Bronco is how it makes you feel behind the wheel. I know this kind of sounds like a bunch of hullabaloo BS, but you really do feel good driving this thing. And that's something that a lot of high-end cars give you when you're behind the wheel, but the Bronco does, and you can get one of these for under 40 grand. So that is something that is really hard to quantify on like a stat sheet, but really do driving this thing, you feel good. So that's number one. Number two, the engine and transmission in this vehicle are sublime for a truck thing, okay? The 2.7 has tons of torque, endless passing power. This transmission doesn't have to go hunting for gears because that engine has so much torque, but if it does so quickly. And you have the ability in sport mode to use these buttons on the shifter to manually shift yourself, which is something that a lot of vehicles don't have in this space, including my Maverick, which is annoying as hell. Number three, the tech in this Bronco is pretty solid.
Yes, there are some more things that I'd want, like a true lane assist. This just really warns you if you go out of the lane. But overall, for what you're getting, you got a large LCD screen in your dash. You have a great Sync 4 system, even though this is not the upgraded 12-inch, this is the base one, but it's perfectly fine. It's very large, it's solid. Pause. It's a great unit. I love Ford's commitment to buttons over haptic touchscreen. I'm talking to you, Hyundai. And overall, this is just a really good place to be. Now, how does it stack up to a new Wrangler? Well, the Wrangler might have more notoriety amongst folks, but the Bronco, in my view, right now is the better buy in base form. The Wrangler has the SRT variant with the V8, which is mental and by far and away my favorite option of this type of vehicle, but base Wrangler to base Bronco, the Bronco just has the features that give it that edge. The ability to keep the mirrors if you take the doors off. The engine packages are a lot better than anything Wrangler provides outside of the 4xe trim. The tech on the inside is a lot better than what Wrangler provides. The comfort, the fact that this thing tracks straight at highway speeds is better than what Wrangler provides. So overall, Ford continues to knock it out of the park, and the Bronco is no exception. If you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that sub button. I think it's something like 95% of you that have watched this video have not subbed. Don't worry, there's still time for me to like you. Hit that sub button, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.